what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. For those who's new, my name is Christian and I love plants, and in today's video we are going to talk all about Calatheas and the love and hate relationships we have with them. This video is sponsored by Like Homes, a lighter way of living, a brand that specializes in making high-tech and modern air purifiers and humidifiers. I'll talk about them in a second here, but for now let's talk about Calatheas. So why do we love Calatheas? Well, they are part of the Maranthaceae family, so they share the same characteristics of a prayer plant, a Stramanthe, a Tonanthe, where their leaves fold up at night and fold down during the day. They have one of the most beautiful foliages ever on a plant that I've seen. They come in so many different varieties, shapes, sizes, colors, everything from the texture of its foliage, like you see here in the furry feather, or this misto with its large beautiful leaves, or the velvety feel of a zebrina, or this pinstripe pattern on the vittata. Again, I love these plants because they are just so beautiful. Now, why do we hate Calatheas? They are so damn fussy, they are finicky, they're stubborn, they're dramatic, they are needy, and they are just difficult plants to care for, especially if you're a beginner, and even for those who may have some experience with caring for houseplants. Especially if you don't live in a warm or humid climate, they do require that type of environment in order for them to thrive. So these plants are going to be tricky to manage for most people unless you can kind of recreate that similar environment, because if you don't, what typically will happen when you bring these plants home is for, the first couple of weeks, they're gonna look beautiful, they're gonna be fine, and then next thing you know, you're going to start noticing brown edging on its leaves, and then from there it's going to continue on to the entire leaf, eventually to its stem, and next thing you know, you got a bald plant, and the only thing you have left is just pretty much soil. So most of us have killed a Calathea or two, or even a Marantha at least, including yours truly. This guy, yes, I have killed my Herbifolia, my Zebrina, my Ornata, and my Lancifolia last year, and I know what I wasn't doing enough of, not what I was doing wrong. It's just I wasn't doing enough of it, right? And honestly, I love these plants so much that I'm not ready to give up on them. I know a lot of people have given up on Calatheas, but if you love something so much, you're gonna try and make it work, right? So let's quickly review how to care for Calatheas and also share with you what I wasn't doing enough of. When it comes to lightings, Calathea prefer to be in a low to medium indirect light. I usually have mine here in the kitchen, which is about 20 feet away from my south-facing window. It still has a bit of view of that sky, but not too much where it's gonna get a lot of bright light where it can possibly get burned. Now, the temperature is very important. You want to keep these guys at least at 20 degrees Celsius or about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. They prefer a warm temperature. You also got to be careful about bringing these guys from indoor to outdoor or vice versa, especially if the temperature in the two areas are quite drastic. Like, you don't want to take these guys out if it's like 10 degrees Celsius and 20 degrees inside your home, because they will go in shock and they're gonna act up on you. So you don't want to do that. When it comes to watering, these guys prefer to have their soil consistently moist, not wet and not dry. So you do want to be careful about making sure that you don't let these guys dry out, because they are not as forgiving as apothos. At the same time, you don't want these guys sitting in wet soil because that will cause root rot. So I'll usually be able to tell by just simply sticking my finger into the soil and feeling to see if it's wet, if it's clumpy, or if it's a bit dry where the soil is falling off your leaves, or if it's in between. And by doing this often, you'll know the difference between dry, moist, and wet. Now, the type of watering you use when it comes to Calatheas, obviously, to prevent a bit of that, the browning edges, they prefer, first of all, probably rainwater out of all the options you have. If you have a way to collecting rainwater, they like that. If you don't, distilled water would probably be second, and then maybe filtered water. And avoid using tap water if you can, because there are a lot of harsh chemicals in there that will cause a lot of that browning and leaf burning, right? So I think now that we're here in the summer, I'm definitely gonna put a barrel outside and start collecting some rainwater. And I think in winter, I'm sure snow will be okay. Just take some snow, boil it, and I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, so they do prefer a bit of that, clean rainwater, distilled water at best. Now, humidity. These guys prefer to be in a nice, warm and humid environment, at least 50% humidity level. And this is what I wasn't doing enough of. The lighting I did okay with, the watering I did okay with. Maybe I could have done a bit more distilled water and rainwater last year, but definitely humidity is a big factor, and I wasn't doing enough of it. Even though in my last How to Care for Calathea video, you can create a bit of humidity in your environment by, putting plants together, like all your Calatheas in one area, because, that helps with the humidity. Missing your plant constantly, the pebble, water, and tray trick, taking them in the shower, that also helps create humidity. But the reality is that wasn't enough for these guys, because these guys need consistent humidity level, and that was a lot of work to really really stay on top of that. So you have to get yourself a humidifier, right? And I did get one last year as well too. I got this very manual type of humidifier. It was only a cool mist. One nozzle, didn't have a timer. It wasn't so good. It wasn't as powerful. It wasn't increasing the humidity level in my home to 50% where it needed to be. And it was just a lot of work. So eventually I stopped using the humidifier, after a month. And next thing you know, your plants kind of are gone. Your Calatheas are gone. So I know what I did wrong. I just did not have the humidity level in my home. Usually my humidity level in my home without using any humidifier is about like 20% in the summer. And it gets even lower than that during the winter time, because the air is just drier. So why do I think it'll be different for my Calatheas this time around? Because I got the sick humidifier by Elect Homes. Full transparency, before Elect Homes actually reached out to me and to sponsor this video, I was already using their product back in February. If you guys have been following me on Instagram and been watching my daily vlogs, you knew that I got this humidifier and I wanted to get it because I was going to be acquiring some rare plants. And in my rare houseplant haul video, that's where I got my Ethereums and my Melanochrysum philodendron. And those guys require high level humidity. So that is why I got myself this humidifier by Elect Homes. And a few of you guys were even asking and messaged me on my DMs, what brand was I using? Can you share with it? And I purposely wasn't sharing it right away, only because I wanted to personally try it out for myself to see if it was doing the job it needed to do. I just wouldn't feel right, obviously, advertising it if it just wasn't, doing what it needed to do. So I got myself this humidifier by Elect Homes that I'm now using in my greenhouse and upstairs in my bedroom. It's a 6-liter tank. It has the 360 dual nozzle, cool mist, warm mist, timer, humidity level, all the bells and whistles that a good humidifier should have. Not like my first one I bought, which, is just now hiding there in the corner. Now, Elect Homes sent me their brand new model, which is the SH8820, and this thing is a beauty and powerful humidifier. It has a 5.5 liter tank. Similar to the older model, it has a dual mist nozzle, 360-degree individual turn, so you can point the direction of where you want the mist to go to. It has a built-in humidity sensor level, which is great to be able to measure the humidity level within its area. I still recommend you get yourself a hygrometer so that way you can measure, every part of your home's humidity level. This thing includes 3 different levels of mist power: minimum, medium, and max. Timer up to 12 hours, so you can set the time of how long you want the humidifier to be on for, or you can set it by humidity levels up to 80%. Once it reaches that certain humidity level, it will automatically shut off. This is obviously a cool and warm mist humidifier, and it has 3 different heat levels you can set it to. It's really preference in whether you want to use cool or warm mist. I prefer to have mine in cool mist, especially during the summer, and also because it uses less energy and less water per hour. It also has a feature to turn off the LCD screen. You can put it in sleep mode, and also has a child lock button. My favorite feature of this humidifier is the tank. You can easily add water by removing the cover and taking that tank either to the sink, or you can bring the water to the humidifier. It's so convenient, unlike other humidifiers that you kind of have to remove the entire tank, flip it upside down, unscrew the cover, fill it with water, screw the cover, and then flip it back side up. This is a little bit more convenient and really handy, especially if you're going to be using your humidifier quite often. And guys, this humidifier looks so sick. I love the sleek, clean, white, modern design it has. I'm honestly not embarrassed to have this out in the open, unlike my older one that I just, hide there in the corner and hopefully nobody notices it. But in terms of using your humidifier, what I actually did, because I knew I wanted to get my humidity level, because these Calatheas need about 50% humidity level. So what I did is I actually turned on my humidifier for about 8 hours for the next 5 days to just bring my humidity level up. As I mentioned, it's usually around like 20-25%. And after 5 days of using it straight 8 hours a day, it got up to 50% and even 55%. And then from there, you don't have to keep using your humidifier for that long. I usually will just have it on every day for about an hour or 2 to just maintain that humidity level. Because this humidifier is so easy to use, it has a timer, it's easy to fill up, plus it comes with this remote control, I don't mind having these guys on for an hour or 2 a day. And honestly, having a humidifier is also beneficial for your health. It helps you breathe better, prevents dry skin. Even though honestly, I could care less if my skin is dry, it's all about my plants. If you want to keep beautiful houseplants in your home alive, like a philodendron, Melanochrysum, an Ethereum crystallinum, or a Calatheas, you're gonna need to invest in a good humidifier. Even your common houseplants can benefit from it as well. Elect Homes is giving you all 20% off your purchase of an SH8820 by using the Amazon link in the description below and entering that coupon code. This is only valid till May 31st, 2020. And honestly, even without the promo code, I think it's a good buy because, you know what, plants that we sometimes buy aren't cheap, like Calatheas Calatheas or these rare plants, and it will pay for itself by keeping a lot of your plants happy and healthy and alive. Yeah, now that I have this humidifier and can control the humidity level in my home, I'm confident that not only my rare houseplants like the Melanochrysum, Crystallinum will thrive and do well, but also these beautiful Calatheas, because like I said, I love Calatheas and I'm not ready to give up on them. When you love something so much, it's worth fighting for, right? And hopefully we can turn our love-hate relationship to a love-love relationship. Other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Stay safe, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.